Hello everyone, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. So for this layout, I started off by distressing my 12x12 black sheet of cardstock, and I'm just sticking that onto a white sheet of cardstock. So you're not really going to be able to see the white underneath, but it does just have a little bit showing through, sort of behind and through where the distressed edge is. I'm trying to line it up as nicely as I can so that there's not a thicker edge of white showing on one side compared to the other. But as I said, it'll really just be a really small amount that you kind of see through and behind where the distressing was. Just adds a nice little effect, I think. But I am certainly being a perfectionist here, getting it on as perfectly as possible. Normally I edit this stuff out. I don't know why I didn't do that today. But anyway, we're on now. So I am working with the Simple Stories Family Fun collection, and I've cut little wedges out to create a circle, a pie. Basically what I did to get this right was that I made a pie using a piece of paper, like a spare piece of cardstock, just one of those really thin pieces that are difficult to work with, and then folded it up and cut out a whole bunch of wedges, and then I just used those as a template for cutting out the real cardstock, so I didn't make a mistake and so that it laid down perfectly. Once I cut all of those wedges out, I then spent time distressing all the way around each of the edges, making sure I had my sort of colours spread out the way I wanted them. It basically, because it's a pie, it doesn't really matter in which order I put them in. They're always going to work and they're always going to make a circle, and it didn't matter as well because of the way the edges were distressed. It was okay to have them a little bit further apart and have the black sort of showing through underneath. So this is that all laid down. This last one, there was a little bit too much black, so I'm just going to shuffle them over just a tiny bit to spread that out. And so there is that, and that's kind of the base of my entire page. It's a really busy layout, but I liked it, so I just rolled with it. I did message my sister and be like, oh, is this too much? She's like, no, just go with it. So that's what I'm doing. So you can see that I've got the gamer's control, like the Xbox control thing there. That is it's called Gamer in the shop, and obviously that will be linked in the description box down below, as well as the link to the Etsy shop itself. And so what I've done is I stuck those first two pictures just straight down onto my page, and then the gaming control and the close-up picture of Thomas I'm going to stick up on foam, just because I like that picture of Tom because it's so a close-up of his face, and I think it's really cute, and then it just kind of emphasizes the important part of the story. So in the story, what is happening is Grandpa plays a game on his computer, and he needs this kind of controller to play the game, and my boys have always been obsessed with this controller and this game that he's playing, and this was the first time where Thomas has got to play it working. So I have another photo of Thomas using the controller, but it's not actually doing anything. It's all turned off. Whereas in this case, he is actually driving, I think it's a tractor. He's driving the tractor around. So he was pretty excited to be allowed to have a turn, and that there was no, he wasn't going to mess it up or anything like that. So I'm actually putting my title on backwards just to make sure that I'm spacing it out correctly. So I'm starting with the word gamer. So that says gamer. It's not perfectly straight, but because of the ruggedness and the circular background, you don't actually notice too much when you're looking at the layout that the title goes off to the right just a little. And then little, I can't decide if those thickers are black or navy, but either way they work. And then this part, I'm not 100% sure if I've spaced it out right, so I'm not sticking it down solidly yet, because I might need to move it to the left just a smidge, but we will see. Yeah, here we go. Just a teeny bit over to the left, because I do want it to be relatively center. I do apologize if you can hear a bunch of background noise. I'm actually away on holidays at the moment. I am up in Queensland, enjoying the beautiful sunshine. And yeah, just having a lovely time with my family, but needed to get this voiceover done. So I've popped outside away from the chaos of my children, and it's noisy outside as well. So hopefully you are okay with the background noise. There's some beautiful birds that you might be able to hear, but all the rest is just other people that are here as well. We're not staying in a hotel, we're staying in an Airbnb, so got our own little apartment to work in here. So I'm almost finished. You can see that I've built one cluster there that says let's play, and I also included a controller in that little cluster as well, and then a whole bunch of stars. And I really wanted the stars to mostly be out in the black section of the layout. It kind of, to me, sort of flowed a little bit nicer. It didn't make that circular section, the pie in the center, completely separate from the black background. It kind of flowed it together just that little bit more to have things kind of overlap and going off the edge, which I liked the way that softened it down a little bit. I love the texture of the distressing. If you've been watching my videos on this channel, you will know in the last sort of month I've been really into distressing on my pages lately. I just really love the texture that it brings to the page without too much dimension. And it's a really simple thing to do, just scratch it up with your scissors. So I do love that. I do have a distressing tool, but it's somewhere in a box while we're renovating. And I also find that my scissors are just quicker. I just find it easier with my scissors. So that's what I do. Thank you for sticking around and joining me while I created this layout. I'm going to use this minute to remind you about my description box. Don't forget to check out down there. You will have a link directly to the Gamer cut file, which is the one I've used. Also a direct link to the Etsy store where Virginia's got hundreds and hundreds of cut files that you might be interested in. I will also have a link to the COAPA cut files Facebook group. It is super fun. Just lots of layout sharing. They don't all have to be cut file layouts. They can just be layouts in general that you've created that you'd like to share, questions, all of that kind of stuff. It's just a really nice community of fabulous crafters. So you're welcome over there. I do just remind you, if you are joining new, make sure you scroll down and check all of the requirements. I think there's literally 2 questions, but there is a checkbox you need to tick. Just make sure you've done that as well, just because I don't want you to not get into the group because you didn't check all the boxes. Super easy, not a lot of work, but just make sure you do that. So now I'm up to my splatters. So I'm using the white Distress Oxide and the gold Jen Hatfield, and this one is done. So super busy, like I mentioned at the start, but I just adore the colors. I think the black is super gorgeous. And I just love the way this works and how excited Thomas was to be having a turn on Grandpa's game. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you all next time. Bye everyone, have a great week.